Okay, my title of my presentation is called Unraveling Twine. My research focus is on developing my game with different usages of twine. There have been several articles that I've read and numerous databases that have mentioned about how twine was a platform for them to display their feelings for a certain topic. My topic for my twine game is all about the 5 stages of grief. And I wanted to look deeper into the features of twine, and I wanted to see how I could achieve the emotions using these new features. I'm deciding to call my game Unraveling Twine because basically the point of my presentation in my project is to figure out the ways that twine can unravel my story. At first glance, I wanted my game to exude the emotions and feelings that I want the text to have. I feel like my text does a good job of this already, but I feel like my first image that my audience sees is lacking in the visuals that I want. When you're looking at this first image, all you see is the words on the screen. And I want the first image to have the immediate feeling of the 5 stages of grief and just evoke those feelings that come with that. My game is on the 5 stages of grief, and I don't want that message to get lost anywhere throughout the project. The 5 stages of grief are such an important aspect of my game that the message of the topic needs to be present as soon as someone opens the game and plays it. As you can see, even though the image is text heavy, there are a bunch of arrows that are crossing over each other, and I did that conscientiously because that's another way I wanted to have the feelings and the confusion that one feels during these 5 stages of grief and when they're present in someone's lives. I just feel like now it's hard to differentiate between the paths in my game and which ones have to do with which stage of the stages of grief. I feel like all of them kind of have the same theme to them, and it could be more concrete as to which of the 5 stages I'm talking about. This image also represents the ideas I had regarding with new things I wanted to add to the game. I think I wanted to make each path purposely a different length. As you can see, you can't really differentiate between the lengths of the paths just by this image, but as you're playing, I want the user to be able to have the emotions of the 5 stages of grief by the feelings you get during the 5 stages of grief and how long it takes to process and cope with each of these different stages. I wanted to base it on how long the stage usually lasts and how long it takes usually a person for that particular stage to come to an end. Throughout my research projects, there was a world of new things that I've learned about twine. I've learned that throughout twine's time on the internet, that people have used twine not in a non-game like aspect. People have used twine to invoke their feelings about being a part of the LGBTQ community. And I thought that was a really different way that I would have never thought of using twine. When something says to me that it's usually used in a certain platform, that's how I tend to use it. But reading that article and seeing how that article used twine, I have lots of new ideas that I wanted to do for my project and things I wanted to add to my project as well. And I feel like that article in itself is a takeaway from this project for me, that really opened my eyes to seeing different ways that people use twine and how they invoke those feelings I want to invoke in my own presentation.